How law rules become basis for regulation of human conduct. So basically, let's say you have to again start. Structure in such questions, structure is very clear. You can simply start writing law and rules become basis for regulation of human conduct to enforce compliance, right? So that conduct is in accordance with law. Accordance with law. Let's say that now basically we have to write this law, rules, regulation, because generally it is basic level question we have asked, because you have to ask basic level question, because some people may not be aware, some people are aware, so but we have to ask basic question to test your basic knowledge. Then we have the three other tests where we can bit advance this. So we can ask a bit advanced question. So we are testing here, let's say law rules. Now let's say that it is not adequate. So you can go and define, let's say define law. You can define law. A person can define law. Right? Law, then define rules. Then you can define regulations. The law is an ordinance of reason for achieving common good. Rules are framed under the domain of laws to regulate conduct, which are more flexible than law. And regulation is about enforcement of, this is how you can say that, enforcing compliance of law. Law. Basically, let's the law and rules. They become basis for regulation. And that regulation may result into good conduct. It may result into lawful conduct. Any, let's say, so we can have motor vehicle act. As per motor vehicle act, we can have traffic rules. Right? And as per when traffic rules are enforced, it results into lawful conduct. It is by citizen. This, when it is enforced, it is act of regulation. This is how we say regulation. This is an example of rules. And this is law. So that is how we can consider about this. When laws are enforced. Now let's what it says. Can we say that the aim of regulation of human conduct is the same as that of promotion of moral conduct in society? Justify your view. Now it is saying that aim, first part is done. Now can we say that the aim of regulation of human conduct and moral conduct in society? So let's take this. So what we do next part is this. So let's say regulation of conduct and then moral conduct in society. So if you take the objectives of both this objective. So what is regulation of conduct? So the aim, let's say that regulation of conduct is, the aim is that yes, let's say as we say that lawful conduct. But it is not only lawful conduct, it is also, let's say that regulation, we also bring ease of doing business. It can be also quality, want, innovation. You may like innovation also, and lawful conduct also, right? Even good conduct, let's say, good conduct also. Because regulation is moral conduct, what we want is more acceptable conduct. Right. It means good conduct. What we find is here, we find it may match, let's say, the regulation. This is how it can be, let's say, that there can be two sides of the same coin. Regulation, moral conduct, they may have some overlapping. The regulation is on the one hand, moral aspect is on the other hand. And let's say good conduct we want, this good conduct we want, this can be same, let's say that. Many a time, see, regulation has coercion aspect also. Since it has coercion, but it is persuasion. So, regulation is coercion and moral conduct is persuasion. So, their, let's say, method is different. One is coercive, other is persuasive. But they may have the same aim to some extent, we can say. With moral conduct also aims at good conduct of the people. But regulation is also about good conduct. But they may not necessarily have the same aim. because regulation deals with some specific subject and a specific area, and it may deal with also, let's say, product quality, ease of doing business, innovations. So we want to promote innovation. Good conduct may not necessarily be innovative. We may have good conduct, but we may not be innovative. We may have good conduct, but we may not be able to have quality of service. That demands, let's say, innovation. So this we can consider. So to some extent, let's say that means they may not necessarily have this, they may differ in some areas. That is how we can conclude. So we can say that they may differ in some area. They may not necessarily have the same aim. Although in general sense, both want to achieve improvement in the quality of conduct of people, one through a legal enforcement, other through moral enforcement. And that is how you should conclude it.